Adam Kline here. Welcome to the 2013 legislative session. Such as it is, it's going to be a bummer year, let's face it. Democrats are in the minority in the Senate, still have the majority in the House and the governor, but I do not see the state Senate doing much by way of the legislative stuff that our district wants, which is typically progressive stuff. Let me talk to you about three ideas generally and then focus on one of those. This is the year I'll have a resolution. I'm currently circulating it, asking for Republican support as well as Democratic support. Got lots of Democratic support, have not yet gotten any Republican support, that would ask the Congress to set in motion the process under Article 5 of the U.S. Constitution to amend it to cut out the decision in Citizens United. Nothing more, nothing less. There's not going to be any liberal platitudes about whether corporations are persons, none of that. We're simply going to get right to the meat of the issue and ask Congress to amend the Constitution to get rid of Citizens United. Allow the states to regulate the money in politics. Secondly, the death penalty. New York recently has repealed its death penalty. Other states have begun the process. We need to do the same. I know the ACLU and other organizations are behind this. I welcome their support. We need to do this. It's not going to be easy. I don't expect this Senate to do it. I do expect that over the course of years, years that are not starting now, they started some time ago, we will do this. Kids and guns, separate issue here. I have two bills, and let me talk a little bit more expansively about these. Two separate bills that have two separate purposes, both that get to juvenile use of firearms. The first is one that would allow the prosecutors to charge in an instance, and there were three of these instances last spring, in which a child is allowed to get hold of a gun. The child may be innocent by being so young, an 8-year-old, a couple toddlers. We don't attribute criminal intent to a child that age. But allowing a child to get a gun, walk around town, or in one case go to class, and have that gun discharged, almost killing another child, that's intolerable. What's more intolerable is to require the prosecutors to charge something that doesn't apply. Assault. That's not an assault. Assault is an intentional act. This is an act of criminal negligence. And the fact is that there's a gap in our law. We don't have a statute that covers this. In the case in which this happened, in Bremerton, a little boy was packing up his backpack. He was going to put pencils and paper. He was also going to run away from home. And he got his mama's boyfriend's gun. It was sitting there in the bedroom, loaded with the safety off. Think about it. Puts it in his backpack, takes it to school. At school, slams the backpack down, not intending any harm. Gun discharges and almost kills a 9-year-old girl sitting in the next seat. The child isn't the problem. It's the mama's boyfriend is the problem. You can't charge him with assault, although the Kitsap prosecutor is trying that. That ain't going to stick. And I think at some point, even the prosecutors are going to have to admit they can't crusade on the basis of an assault, an intentional act. They need the statute. The other is a bill that has been drafted largely by Dan Satterberg, our prosecuting attorney, that would more quickly accelerate the increases in punishment over a second or third or fourth offense for juveniles who unlawfully possess weapons. You can unlawfully possess a weapon because of your age, if you're not supervised, or because you have a previous juvenile infraction or misdemeanor that makes it illegal for you to own a gun or possess a gun. And if you do that, then that's unlawful possession of a firearm. Currently, it takes a 5th conviction in juvenile court of unlawful possession of a firearm in order for that juvenile to see the inside of JRA, the Juvenile Rehabilitation Administration. That's part of DSHS. This is a somewhat secure camp. It's not a prison. We don't put juveniles in a prison the way we do adults. There will have to be a curriculum focused on guns in order for me to really support this. We don't have money for a curriculum, thank you, no new taxers, and Tim Iman. And so the SPD, the Seattle Police Department, and gun experts, social services experts have put together a curriculum. It's not about gun safety. This isn't the NRA. This is focusing on a juvenile's perceived need to have a gun in his or her neighborhood, typically his neighborhood. These are kids, mostly guys. Why do you feel you need to have a gun? Well, you know, a lot of kids feel they need one for protection because the other guy has got guns. Sometimes gang culture is in this. If one gang has a gun, the wannabes of the other gang feel they need to have guns. We need to address that. Taking a child out of his or her home is something we don't do lightly. But if it's a matter of saving that child's liberty and possibly life by imbuing that child with a better respect for guns and maybe an understanding of how they lead to lesser safety rather than more, maybe it's worth it. I don't like putting kids in juvenile rehab, even though it's not jail. You don't take them away from mom and dad without some real purpose. This is a real purpose, and I believe we need to do this. So does our prosecutor, and I expect to have bipartisan support for this one. Thanks.